Alright, we have a lot to cover in this video, and I've got a lot of juicy funness to share with y'all, but just to catch you up if you missed it, we are currently on week 3 of the Recall 10-0 events, and currently if you're doing this event in your alerts tab, the first mission is going to get you a Noggle Statue of Nihil, the second will get you a Forma, the third will get you a Nihil Recall Glyph. Now what's important about this, more than the other ones that have come so far, are we get to fight the Wolf of Saturn 6 over and over again if we're doing a repeat of mission 3. We're also going to be able to get a lot of extra rewards on top of that, which I covered in a previous video. And this is a fantastic thing for players to be grinding out, especially because in fighting the Wolf of Saturn 6, we're actually getting him to drop, by chance, his Wolf Sledge parts. And we're going to go over here and just take a look at this really quick. So, the Wolf of Saturn 6 is a Rogue Grenier criminal introduced as an antagonist in Nightwave Series 1, so it has been a long time since he's been around. Normally, the way that he showed up is, it said, the wolf could spawn randomly in almost any player-accessible mission, similar to Assassins, but without having a death mark. So he would basically just spawn at random during the Nightwave Series 1 in any missions that you might be in, which was nice, because it was just kind of a fun surprise, and I remember him being, like, overly difficult to fight back then. It's like everybody really had to pull it together and just fight to kill him. But as you're gonna see in what I'm gonna show you today, oh, he has gotten incredibly easier, and it is fantastic, especially for farming these out. Now, it does say here that the wolf beacons can be bought from Nightwave in credit offerings, so we're gonna look at that really quick. If we go here to Nightwave and we check out the credit offerings, we can scroll down and see that we have wolf beacons. These are going for 50 Nora credits, and this is why I'm urging you to do the wolf now. Like, grind him out, get your wolf sledge now. If you get extra parts, cool. We're gonna go over in a second what they sell for. But right now, these are 50 credits, and unfortunately, if you have past, like, once you get past level 30 and you start earning credits and credits, and that's all you get anymore, we're only earning 15. So we got 15, 30, 45. You're basically going to have to do 4 levels to be able to get one beacon for the wolf, and that's not even going to guarantee that he's going to drop the part you're looking for, which is kind of a pain. So I don't believe whatsoever it is worth spending your credits on these wolf beacons while he's here for you to farm out. Like, just get it over with, farm him out, get your wolf sledge parts, get that out of the way. All of the credits that you were getting are better spent on things like steel charge, sprint boost, because even if you own these already, these go for a decent amount of platinum. So they're also a lot cheaper. They're only 20. So for the cost of a wolf sledge beacon, or let's say for the cost of 2 wolf sledge beacons, you're able to get 5 of these mods, and all of them are going to go for 20 or more plat, depending on whether you've maxed it out or not. So definitely much more worth right now you saving your credits and grinding these out. Now, if we take a look at the Wolf Sledge set, we can see that prices have dipped incredibly low. People are just going nuts trying to sell this thing right now. And I feel like that's great for players that don't have the Wolf Sledge set. It's fantastic mastery rank. The weapon itself is not a bad weapon. And we are looking at 39 plat on the lowest right now, 48, and then 50. And it looks like it really is starting to more so average out around 55, 60. So it's looking like you could probably sell this thing not too hard at like 55, 60, even 70 on the low side of things. But if we start scrolling through this, we could start to dive into, not too far down, the graveyard that used to be the prices of what this was going for probably a few weeks ago, before people knew it was coming back. And we're looking at 200, 225s, 300. These people probably just haven't updated their price, or maybe they're just doing the big brain play of holding on to it, waiting for the price to go up in the future. And if we scroll through all the offlines here, we can kind of see too that here I'm not even halfway down through the page yet, and we've hit 100 already. I keep scrolling, still not halfway. We're at 140 now. About halfway, we're looking at 150 for it. And if I get even further down, we're about 3/4 the way down now, and we're just about hitting the 200 price range, so you can kind of see the graveyard that this is. It just, the hopes and dreams that selling this at 200 or more plat used to be. I don't, it's so bad. It's so bad. I don't know, man. If you wind up getting these, if you're a newer player, this is probably a really great thing for you to just farm these out, sell them, you know, maybe between like the 70 to 100 range, just your Wolf Sledge sets, or really whatever you could get. But I mean, it's going to take a lot of grind. But either way, grinding this thing out right now, if you're new-ish, not a brand new player, because it's probably going to be really tough for you, but if you're new-ish, maybe like 100, 200 hours into the game, then yeah, this is probably a pretty good platform for you. And before we get into the real fun of this, we're taking a look at the Wolf right now and his ally armor and his machinery. So the ally armor is basically weakest against radiation, and the machinery is basically weakest against blast. As you can see here, it shows the symbols if you're looking it up. The wiki even has this too if you don't have the wolf fully scanned. Also, reminder, while he's back, you might as well get your scans out on him. If you ever want to fight him in the simulacrum, you'll be able to do that. So I've basically set up a whole bunch of different weapons that I personally enjoy using, and we ran out and tested a whole lot of different setups to see what would be fastest to take the wolf out to really speed run these missions. So first up, I wanted to test my Ignis Wraith, because I figured I typically kind of have that on a lot anyway, so maybe if that just worked well, I wouldn't have to change my builds around and prepare for this battle, because sometimes I just like to be lazy. And it turns out that, well, the Ignis Wraith, it was not worth using whatsoever. In fact, after just kind of trying this for a little bit, I was like, all right, I get it, it's terrible, let's not use this against the wolf. But you know what else I always have on? I always have on my Laetum as my secondary, so instead I pulled this out and I was like, alright, let's see what the Laetum does. And well, I wasn't really disappointed. I could just run and do this mission with the Laetum. But you know what? That also made me think, what else could I try to see if anything is potentially better than the Laetum? So I decided to pull out my favorite primary weapon at the moment, which is currently the Burston Prime. And although it's performing better than the Ignis, I realized my Burston is built for viral, and really what I need to do is build this thing for blast or magnetic. So I decided to put a blast build on this and see how this thing performed. And honestly, I wasn't disappointed with that. And I guess in trying this out, I caught some kind of bug and felt like an ex-girlfriend and thought it's not good enough. So I figured my Brahma was built for blast. Why don't I just take this thing out and see what it does? And as you can see, 6 shots is all it took to kill the wolf. But again, even that wasn't good enough. I then decided I wanted to see what the one-shot Archon build does. So I grabbed my Kuva Hek, which has radiation, and I decided to try this out. And after multiple attempts of trying to get primary deadhead just right, to get my Eclipse build going so my strength is through the roof, and having to stand in light, I finally realized that no matter what I do, the best we got is 2 shots on this Wolf of Saturn 6. And honestly, for my lazy self and how I just prefer to play this game, that completely works for me. So I'll be running the Wolf of Saturn 6 over and over again with the Kuva Hek, just to lazily 2-shot the wolf and move on with my life. Be sure to follow on Twitch, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, thank you so much for watching.